Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the Commissioner's Reserve Valuation Method, CRVM. And this is an extension of the last video I did on NPR. So if you don't know what the net premium reserve is, it's essential to know that before we go any further. So I invite you to look at that video beforehand. Or otherwise you could, I guess, try to figure it out based on what I'm about to tell you. The point of CRVM is to give an insurance company a break from holding high reserves in the first year of a policy's lifetime. And this is because insurance companies have to pay large premiums and commissions in that first year to their agents, brokers, whoever sold their policy, because insurance is usually sold, not so much bought. You have to pay a lot of money in commissions just to sell a policy. So you pay that huge expense in the first year. It's usually considered like an investment on the GAAP side. On the stat side, you want to use CRVM as an acknowledgement of those high costs, and it provides you with some relief from that surplus strain that you get when you sell a new policy and pay those high commissions. So we're going to have a couple new items here for CRVM. First of all, we're going to have the premium. I'm just going to call it the premium. The way it works is we set the premium in the first year equal to the expected claims in that year. It's as simple as that. That's all the first year is. The total premium and the total claims that we pay have to equal what we paid under the NPR approach. So we still have to have 145 total claims dollars paid over the duration of this 5-year contract. So we can do some math and figure out that, well, what's the remaining net level premium that would be due to equate to the total amount of premium we had before. It's 145 minus the 5 that we set up in year 1. And it's going to be divided by 4, or rather, more generically, divided by the total term number of years minus 1. All right, and you have $35 in premium in year 1, in year 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you still total up to $145 in premium, just like you did under the NLP approach. And now, when you do the reserve, and you're going to do the reserve the same way, you simply have no reserve in year 1. You constructed it to have no reserve in year 1, and you have lower reserves in the subsequent years than you do for NPR. So here I'm going to take the reserve as the previous value of the reserve plus the premium that we've taken in, use the CRVM premium, minus the expected claims that we're going to pay. And you'll see over here you have a different reserve pattern. Looks like it's the yellow line over here on the graph, and it's universally lower in every year than the NPR. It's worth noting that the change in reserve is higher each year under the CRVM method than under NPR. You can kind of look at that in terms of the income statement. Whereas NPR is going to record change in reserves that are generally higher, well, every year higher than the CRVM method. Every year lower than the CRVM method. Yeah, you're going to get like no initial hit to your income statement under CRVM as opposed to a $24 hit under NPR. Yeah, and then you're going to have a, bigger reserve release in year 2 than you would under NPR, and then a bigger reserve release in year 3, less of a decrease in year 4, less of a decrease in year 5. So CRVM is worse for your income statement than NPR is in years 2 through 5 in this example. But you get a break. You don't have an income hit in year 1, so it looks good on your stat earnings statement. And this is a stat-only exercise. The biggest thing to note is that the difference between the NPR and the CRVM is called the allowance, the expense allowance. And this gets transferred around under different actuarial guidelines and valuation methods. So usually they don't necessarily want you to calculate the CRVM. What they want you to calculate is the expense allowance under CRVM, and then you add that to something. The allowance is simply what would the reserve be under NPR minus what is it under CRVM. So it's just subtracting these two rows here, and you can see it goes to $0. So basically you get $24 of expense allowance. You can go sell a new policy and pay $24 in commissions without impacting your income statement in year one. And then you get an allowance that kind of goes away over time and eventually goes to zero as the policy expires. So I think that's pretty much it for CRVM. Come back soon and we'll do some more reserving talk and life insurance valuation. Thank you.